Peace and blessings, y'all. Welcome to the GOAT James Kingdom Show with B. Lee and A. Johnny. As y'all know, we go live every Sunday to talk basketball and the GOAT conversation. So here we are again live on a Sunday afternoon. Shout out to everybody who is a subscriber to the channel, who's already in the comments. We have some folks here already. Shout out to John and Twin Man. Peace, brothers. Thanks for joining us here in the GOAT James Kingdom platform. As y'all know, we are here every Sunday to talk the GOAT conversation. If you are not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share the content as Brandon and I bring it like nobody brings it when we're talking about the GOAT conversation. So today's show, we're going to have a topic for y'all that's a great topic because we do the GOAT conversation. If anybody got a chance to be a subscriber or watch any of FYF Sports Debate shows, they recently had a one-on-one with Gilbert Arenas and Dreamer Pros on their show about the GOAT debate. And we're going to discuss Gilbert Arenas' comments. And we might even have Lamont, who is a part of the FYF show, bring himself and explain how they got to that point. But we're going to talk about that because the GOAT conversation is what we do here. So we're going to have a great show. We have our normal panel as usual. We got B. Lee, Travis, and Craig. Ralph should be here shortly. What up, B. Lee? What's good, brother?
Yo, what's good, everybody?
All right, we got Travis and Craig. What up, y'all? How y'all feeling? How y'all brothers feeling today?
Yeah, what's good? What's good?
Excellent, guys. How you doing?
Yes, indeed, man. Thanks for joining us as usual. We are the GOAT James Kingdom platform. So today's topic is really going to be, was there a GOAT before Michael Jordan? That is truly today's topic because Gilbert Arenas stated that before Michael Jordan, there was not a GOAT. There wasn't a list available. There wasn't a criteria. There wasn't a standard. We're going to bring that clip up for you guys shortly. But before we get to that, we'll talk about the games that happened last night. As y'all know, there were several games that popped up last night. The Lakers come up with another victory as LeBron goes into Cleveland and dominates in Cleveland like he normally does. AD showed up as well. So it's always good to see AD. And Austin Reeves almost had a triple-double last night. Close to a triple-double last night, I believe. So the Lakers were balling, and the Cavaliers lost, and they're reeling. The East is looking crazy. So far though, we're 20 games in almost for most teams, right? So what do you guys think? Let's start with you, Billy. What you think about the NBA season so far and how it's going on with the teams and everything that you've been witnessing?
Well, it's early in the year, so we don't really know what's going on. We waiting still to see if teams are going to get healthy. The Lakers are one of the teams that's not healthy at all. I know the Suns haven't been healthy the whole year, so just waiting to see the midpoint of the season where everyone's playing.
No doubt. So what do you think of it, Craig? What do you think about the games going on? Anything that strikes you so far this year?
Two players that I shouldn't say that I'm impressed by, but I am impressed by is Chet and Tyrese Halliburton from Indiana. Them two right there. I gotta watch them play.
Nah, you're right. There's guys out there balling for sure. That is for sure, man. So what's up, Travis? What do you think of what's going on with the NBA and so far? Anything about last night's games? Anything's been striking you? The in-season tournament? Anything at all?
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think, like Craig said, the Patriots are a pleasant surprise this year. I don't think anybody expected them to compete, but they're 8-1. Halliburton leads the league in assists, and it's pretty crazy. I mean, you got a lot of dark horses coming up here. I think the Magic too, came out of nowhere to be like almost third or second or third in the East right now. But like Brandon said, it's early, so we'll figure out. We'll see. But if these trends continue, but it's pretty crazy so far.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. What up, King John? Peace, brother.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah. What's going on, man? So you saw the game last night. I know you witnessing the GOAT doing GOAT things last night. He was in Cleveland dunking left and right. They gave him a standing ovation. Were you watching the game last night?
Yes, I did. I did.
Yes, indeed. So how do you what do you think about the season so far? As we stated before, it's a good year. It's a lot of surprises. What do you think of the season so far?
I think the team is coming along. I wish at one time they was fully healthy, a full roster full of healthy. They ain't be fully healthy yet all year, because I think Vanderbilt gonna play a big part in this team this year. So That's what I'm looking for. And AD is still up and down. He had a great game yesterday. I wish he brought that type of game 82 games. I know he ain't gonna play 82 games, but just the mindset that I'm gonna do this every night. There's nobody in the league who can stop me, and this is what I'm gonna show you. And I mean, that would make it easier for everybody on the team. He's in the middle of his prime right now. And I just don't.
Well, again, Anthony Davis is not that guy. We was on Ralph's Live yesterday. I was on Ralph's Live yesterday, and they were, Low and Chilltown were saying, listen, Anthony Davis is not that dude. I keep telling y'all that. He's not him. He's actually, he's the best second best player. Maybe him and Jaylen Brown. I don't know. I guess Robin. That's what y'all call him, the Robin. He's probably the best Robin in the NBA, if not Jaylen Brown. But other than that, he's never going to be that dude. He's never going to be the one to do it night in, night out like that. That's just not his thing. Appreciate you, Zero. Shout out to Zero.
I think defensively, he's that dude. I think he's the best defensive guy in the league. Offensively, he don't bring it like that.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to argue there. He's definitely that dude when it comes to that. Yeah, he's up there. But I like today's NBA season. I'm surprised with Indiana. I'm surprised with Orlando. Those teams are surprised. I'm also still surprised at Minnesota. As much as I was believing in Anthony Edwards coming into the season, I didn't think they would be this good, and they are really looking good as well. One thing I wanted to bring up was that, Brandon always brings up Jamal Murray's importance to the Denver Nuggets, and being that he's been out lately, they haven't been finding their way, even though Joker's still being Joker, but you can see a little bit frustration in Joker. They've been losing some games. And it looks like what Brandon said, he doesn't play well. Jamal Murray's really a catalyst to how great that team plays. I don't know if Brandon's listening or not, but he always talks about that. But it's been a great season. I can't wait to see how everything goes. Ralph is just here right now. What up, Ralph?
Yo, what's happening?
What's good, brother? What's good, brother? We sitting here talking the NBA season and how it's going so far, since we're 15, 20 games in for most teams. What do you like so far, the NBA season? Well, the in-season tournament, which it takes so far, almost a quarter into the season in.
Well, what I really like is that my Knicks beat that Heat.
Here we go.
Tell you that much.
Oh my God.
That's what I like.
It's so bad that the Nets beat the Heat. The Knicks and the Nets beat the Heat.
We're not doing that.
We're not doing that. We didn't have Tyler Hero. We didn't have Bam. We didn't have Jimmy Butler last night. We didn't even have Duncan. No, again, against the Knicks, it was, y'all came back. We went on a slump in the fourth quarter.
Hold on, wait a second. Y'all had an 18-point lead in the fourth quarter. And y'all allowed us to come back like that. And then the crazy thing, when we came back with our second unit. It wasn't even our starter.
Oh, now you're bringing up old shit.
No. Well, overall, as far as the season, though, man, I mean, Tyrese Maxey, he stepped it up since Harden left, and he's really hooping out there. He's actually showing that, I can be that player next to Joel Embiid to actually be a winning basketball team this year. And
they look good too. Yes.
And Hallenberg, oh my gosh, he's going crazy for those Pacers, bro. Like, what, he had like 26 and 16 the other night? Or 20-something, or it was something like that. I know he had 16 assists. I was like,
Ralph,
that is nuts.
The splash plays, too. It's the splash plays, too, he's giving out, too. So it's not just like he's efficient. He giving you the splash plays, too.
And that pisses me off because we passed him up in the draft.
And Sacramento traded him.
We pick Obi Toppin over him.
You did?
Yes.
How did that work out?
Don't listen. Don't disrespect.
That worked out terrible.
Don't disrespect Obi Toppin. Obi's been balling since he left your coach. Okay, obviously him and your coach never got along at all. All right, and that's the facts.
I'm
But-
not going that far.
But it's been a great season. Halliburton's been balling, like you said. It's been a great NBA season, so I do agree with you there. You know, but before we get to that, obviously y'all see I'm bringing up the clip, getting ready for our topic for today because we got our panel here. Gentlemen, you guys know what we do. We talk the GOAT conversation. So Ralph, I sent you the actual link, Ralph, and you guys the video. Did you guys get a chance to see the video of Gilbert Arenas talking about the GOAT debate on FYF Sports?
I seen it live. So
you saw it live, right, King John?
Yeah.
All right. So how about you, Craig? Did you see it, Craig?
Yeah, I seen the video. I seen them going back and forth.
All right. And Ralph, did you?
You talking about with Gilbert Arenas and Dreamers Pro?
Yes, and Dreamers Pro. Did you get the link I sent you?
Yeah,
I sent you.
I saw it. I saw it.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure you got the link, and you got it as well, Travis. Correct?
Yeah. I
Don't
saw.
play the whole link.
No, I'm not going to play the whole link, but we are definitely going to listen to it because it's very important that we bring this topic up because it basically narrows down the whole thing that we do and what we have here in GOAT James Kingdom. Brandon can tell you this best. When we started doing this, we realized that the GOAT debate is such a problem because of the narratives and all of the myths that are attached to Michael Jordan. It's hard to appreciate GOAT James or LeBron James, however you want to see him, because of all these fake narratives and false premises that we constantly hear all the time when we talk in basketball. So bringing up, Gilbert Arenas, which, hopefully Lamont can show up to let us know how that happened and how he was able to get both of those guys together. Dreamers Pro, it got crazy. It was, if you listen to FYF Sports, they have hours of material and content. So it was definitely a great show. But let me bring this up and let's listen to what Gilbert Arenas said in general so we can get the conversation going. So y'all let me know if y'all can hear this.
But Shannon Sharp also made the point of he wouldn't be considered a GOAT.
Nah, you can't. Gilbert, how are you going to put him in the top 5 with only one championship?
Can I ask you this? And don't worry, I know the answer. And Stephen A. Smith don't know this answer. Shannon Sharp don't know this answer. Before Michael Jordan, who's the GOAT?
Before Jordan, wasn't it?
No. No matter what name you say, no. There was no GOAT.
Yeah, I don't think I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, there was none. There was no GOAT. There was no greatest of all time. So what ends up happening was there's been one GOAT. There's been one Jesus. Our Jesus is Michael Jordan. That's it. There was no Kareem. There was no Magic. There was no Bird. There was no top 5.
I've heard a lot of people say with Chamberlain and Kareem, though.
Show me a list. Before Michael Jordan, show me the list of the greatest players of all time.
All right. So that's the first part of the clip that we're going to discuss today. So as you heard, he stated no GOAT. There was never no GOAT before that. He asked Dreamers Pro. And basically how this started was Dreamers Pro came out with a video and about LeBron James not being at Kobe's funeral. And FYF Sports ate him alive because it was a false report. And because of that, he came on the program to defend himself. And somehow Gilbert Arenas' name got brought into it. And he got a wind of the show and he popped up on the show. So that's how I ended up watching the show. I got it. And
Think of some other shit later.
what happened now, Travis?
Oh, sorry, that was just an echo in my background.
Okay. So that's how this all started. So it originally started with him breaking down the whole Heat culture, and then it got to the GOAT debate because he mentioned how LeBron could still be the GOAT without going to Miami or having those 2 championships. So Brandon, you heard the clip. You heard that so far. What do you think about what Gilbert Arenas said as far as there being no GOAT?
I think there was not a GOAT criteria for sure. There wasn't a list of GOAT players, but there were certain players that people said was the greatest. I know his name was Earl something like Mana GOAT, something like that. They call him the GOAT. But I know, I know he didn't play in the NBA, but they was calling him the GOAT in what the 50s or 60s, something like that. I know certain people. Some people said Bill, Kareem, Will, but there wasn't like a list of the greatest players like Gilbert said. They just designated Jordan the GOAT after his his first MVP. Basically, definitely after his second title, he was labeled a GOAT. And although they want to say LeBron would have had one title if he didn't go to the Heat or something like that, but we don't really know how many titles LeBron would have had. So that's just that's just what I think. I think there was not a criteria, or they just said Jordan was a GOAT, and people just took it as the gospel.
All right. So, Craig, your turn. What do you think about what Gilbert Arenas said right there, as far as there was no GOAT before Jordan?
Maybe
or no list. There was no greatest of all time list. He said there wasn't even a top 5 list.
There wasn't people talking about having discussions about who was the best player ever. They might have, one or two group people will say, I think this person was the greatest person I ever seen. So then they turn that into the GOAT. So he could be right and wrong at the same time, depending on what group of people you were speaking to at the time.
All right, I hear that. All right, Travis, what do you think of that, Travis? Or when you heard
yeah, no, he's right about how there was no. I don't think like the GOAT conversation was especially rampant back then, especially because there wasn't really social media to fuel it. But there wasn't like a defined list of players, much less like criteria. But yeah, I think it only became more and more pronounced like once we got into the modern age, and like there was all these there was many more players to compare rather than just maybe like Bird, Magic, Kareem and Wilt or something like that. But yeah, he's right about that.
All right. So, John, you heard it live at the time. You was there for all the reaction, everything that happened afterwards. What did you think of what he said as far as the GOAT? You're one of the elder statesmen here as myself. What do you think what he said as far as there was no GOAT before Michael Jordan?
I think it wasn't a GOAT before Michael Jordan, but the conversation has started right before Michael Jordan. And I think that's why I think the conversation was built around Wilt Chamberlain. And that's why Wilt Chamberlain was Jordan's goal, because Wilt was known as the best player ever. But the conversation wasn't loud, but the conversation had started. So I always feel like the conversation had started around Wilt, but it wasn't loud. And Jordan made the conversation loud. So, but I agree with what Gilbert said.
Okay. All right. And Ralph, what do you think about that part? As he said, the GOAT conversation, no GOAT before Jordan.
Well, I'm going to say this, and John actually touched up on it a little bit because, me and you spoke about this when it came out and everything. You sent it to me. And when I listened to it, and then I actually wanted to do my own research because my pops, he was playing basketball. He was around that kind of crew. So I had conversations with him about this whole scenario of GOAT conversation back then when he was playing and when he was like 20 years old and everything. They did actually had conversations, he said, because he said, the conversations was Wilt. It was Kareem, Dr. J got put in there. Those 3 players was really talked about of being the best player at that time because of what they did on the court and what they were accomplished and everything. He say just like the barbershop talk, like what we do on these platforms is pretty much like barbershop talk back then when they sat around and actually talked about it. So it was talks, but it's much broader now. It got even much broader now when Jordan came into the play, like John was saying. And I think that label, and I also did my research of when they really started saying officially, and I looked up the clip with Bob Costas with the interview with Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas in '93 of that finals. That's when they were saying it. They were saying like,
who was the GOAT in '93?
They were saying that Jordan was the best player that they seen. And that was during that finals of
being the best player that I seen and being the GOAT is 2 different things.
Well, they were actually calling him the GOAT. They was calling him the greatest ever.
Yeah, and then when they won it, it was because he three-peated. He did something that Magic, Isaiah, and Bird didn't do. So that's when it was big.
Okay. I mean, like I said, when he stated that, I understood what he meant by there was no GOAT, being there was no GOAT debate. There was no official GOAT. There really wasn't. There wasn't a GOAT debate because what we have to remember is that in the 80s, the NBA media was small. It got bigger because of the popularity of Magic Johnson and Bird and the Celtics and Lakers rivalry, that by the mid-80s, there was a popularity amongst the national media. Before that, basketball only had basketball media. If you was a basketball media guy, you was a beat writer for the team. They didn't have 24/7 sports media topics. So at that time, within the media, it was Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain was considered the greatest player. Bill Russell was considered the greatest winner. But amongst the players, if you talk to the players that were there for the 70s and the 80s, it was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. To them, that was their god. That was their king, the number one guy. He was it. He was the number one guy. But there was no official list. There was no ESPN. ESPN had just come out, what, 83?
Actually, it was like from what when I spoke to my pops, and I spoke to him for like 2 hours about this, and he was saying the players that came up during the time when he was younger. Bill Russell was one of them too. I forgot to mention him. He said Bill Russell, Kareem, Dr. J, and Wilt was amongst of the players that they were saying that was the best. The goal.
There wasn't an overwhelming, an official stamp. That, you know what I'm saying? There wasn't a consensus. You had like just like Gilbert, and we're gonna go to it more because Dreamers Pro is about to retort that. So Dreamers Pro is about to give his take on how Gilbert Arenas is wrong, and Gilbert Arenas is gonna double down and explain it a little bit deeper. But at that time, there was just there wasn't even a list. There wasn't even a top 5 list. There wasn't a greatest of all time list of players. It wasn't a thing. That's what he's trying to say. It
That's
never.
true.
They never just. So let's let him go and continue, and then we'll stop it, and I'll let you guys continue here. Let's listen to the rest of it.
I don't know. There won't be one. I don't know, man.
There won't be one. There was Michael Jordan was the person that they gave. I had a long conversation today with 80s players about it, and they said there was this is a new thing. Some players had Dr. J, some people had Will, some people had Oscar Robertson, some people had Earl Pearl, Magic and Bird. There was no 5, there was no 1, there was no lead dog. So this is the question. If before Michael Jordan, what the fuck was the criteria to be in the GOAT discussion? There's none. So if there's no criteria, then how can you say today that LeBron James wouldn't be in there?
That's the point. That's the point. But LeBron came after Jordan, so Jordan was the standard. He was the standard.
So who's number 2? What I'm saying is, if there's no standard before Jordan, and Jordan is the standard for number 1, what the fuck is the standard for number 2?
No, there was a standard before Jordan, because Jordan said when he came into the end, he was trying to do what Magic Johnson and Larry Bird and them were doing, which was win champion. They were killing Jordan for that.
There was winning championship, but that was no standard for greatness. That was no standard for. There was no standard for who's the number 1 player ever. There was no standard. They didn't have nothing yet. That's why when he won his first championship, they said he's the greatest player of all time. They gave him that after one. Look, here's an article.
All right. So that obviously was Gilbert Arenas. That's just what I have here. We don't have to go to any deeper with that. Brandon, you heard what he said. So you agreed. You said there's no GOAT and there was no GOAT debate. But what do you think about him saying that it's not even based on championships? That Jordan was bestowed upon Jordan. He didn't even. They gave him 1 championship was enough. It didn't matter at that time. Your greatness was not measured on how many championships you had.
You know the thing. I know we talked about a little bit earlier about how Kevin Garnett and Stephen A. Smith was going back and forth. And one thing Kevin Garnett said that Michael Jordan was not chasing Bill Russell in titles. So why do everyone has to chase Jordan in titles? So that's that the title thing just never made any sense to me because, like we always said, like Jordan don't have the most. How is that the standard when he do not have the most? Like even if you're not a Jordan fan, we could probably say, yeah, Michael Jordan was probably the greatest player that we ever seen after 1998. Like the dude was incredible. Like I was 15 at the time, and I was there wasn't a question in my mind that Jordan was the greatest player of all time. Like I did, everyone said it. There wasn't no like argument from anybody. Michael Jordan was the GOAT, and he wasn't the GOAT because of 11 titles. He was the GOAT because he won 6 titles. And I knew Bill Russell won 11, but a lot of people are not educated on Bill Russell and what he did in his time period in his era. But the title thing after one title, okay, he's the greatest because he's probably the greatest anybody ever seen on the court. Just like Barry Sanders. I don't think Barry Sanders is the greatest running back of all time, but to me, he's my favorite athlete of all time, and I wouldn't choose nobody above Barry Sanders. But no, he's not the greatest running back of all time because he doesn't have what someone else has. And just like Michael Jordan, they say he's the greatest after one title, even though he didn't have what everyone else had. But it's just how they look on the court.
True that. Yo, Craig, so what do you think? All right, so you hear the back and forth, the discourse. He stated Jordan didn't need 6 championships to be the GOAT. You think Jordan was the GOAT as of 1988. So was he wrong?
I never said Jordan was the GOAT after 1988. I just said, so I don't know where you get that from.
No, I'm quite sure you said that, my friend.
No, I said 1988 was probably the greatest season any individual player could have in the NBA. That's what I said.
That's a complete lie, too. That's a complete lie.
That's
a complete lie. I hate when people say that. Like, why is that the greatest season ever? Like, why?
I said probably one of the most.
That's not. Are we seeing a season better than that?
As far as what? Or what did you talk about?
Are you trying to say because he won defensive player and MVP in the same year?
I'm talking about.
We see somebody do that.
I'm not talking about.
We see somebody also win a title that year and Finals MVP. So how the hell is 1988 the greatest season of all time?
So now you just said it was nothing about titles, but the first thing you ran to because it wasn't a great season, is it about titles? Because you just mentioned finals.
We're talking about you said the greatest season. You said the greatest season.
For an individual. Someone has
defensive player of the year. Someone has a defensive player of the year, MVP, Finals MVP, and a title.
Go ahead.
How is that the greatest? How is that the greatest?
You make no sense right now.
I don't make no sense.
You just complain about people using titles for as a reason why someone could be the GOAT, and then you run to titles when you want to defend why someone that didn't have a great season. You can't pick and choose when you want to use titles. Which one?
So you mean to tell me if we talk about one season, we cannot use a title? If we're talking about greatest of all time,
I'm talking about the season. You said he was the GOAT because 88. I said he wasn't the GOAT because of 1988. I said that was probably one of the most greatest seasons a person can have as an individual.
You said the greatest. Not you changing it up. So you mean to tell me if
ain't the show
okay?
Ain't the show
recorded? I was just about to say it's recorded. It's recorded.
So you mean to tell me if someone has a defensive player of the year, an MVP, of Finals MVP, that season gets trumped by someone just a defensive player of the year?
So what else did they win after that? Because I can keep going the way he won that year.
You said the season. The season.
Oh my God.
What you talking about? The season.
I said, yeah, for the season. You didn't mention everything he did that season.
What else? What else?
You know what he did.
He did not do what Hakeem did in one season.
Okay.
We all can agree to this.
All right, so final MVPs and titles matter then.
We talk about the greatest seasons of all time. The greatest season of all time. The greatest season of all time.
It was bullshit if you saying someone with a Finals MVP and a title trumps over someone who didn't win it. But then you go and say titles don't mean nothing.
When did I say titles don't mean? I said titles do not make you the greatest player of all time.
No. We said no.
I have never said Bill Russell's better than Jordan. Not once.
We said no. What was said was that at the time that Gilbert Arenas is mentioning Jordan becoming the GOAT, it didn't matter for rings because that's what Dreamers Pro brought up. Dreamers Pro mentioned that Jordan was chasing rings, but he was saying that the rings is not what gave Bird and Magic the greatest of all time status. Those were not the things that applied to the greatest of all time. There was no criteria. So it wasn't rings. There was no criteria.
So why is it rings to make it? If rings didn't make the GOAT criteria, how can a ring didn't make what's the best season ever then?
Because that's what you.
How can it be the best season ever then with the ring if it don't matter?
But isn't that what you use though? Wouldn't you?
Okay, explain how 88 is that better than Kings 94. I'm listening.
I said it's one of.
So it's not the best. Okay, got you. That's all I'm saying. It wasn't
all
the
I
best.
know is Jordan's season is in discussion.
It wasn't the best.
There are guys
Thank
who don't have a season
Thank
like
you.
that.
It wasn't
it
the
does
best.
have a
We
season
argue
like
with
that.
Jordan and
It
Elijah
wasn't the
on
best.
another day. This is a
Thank
GOAT.
Thank you. It wasn't the best. It wasn't the best. Thank you. That's all I'm saying.
2013.
We got this out.
2013. Okay, so Craig, so do you agree with Gilbert Arenas? Did Jordan just get bestowed the GOAT title, or does he truly earn it? And is he the standard? Is Jordan the standard for the GOAT?
I'm to say this: if you up here saying you chasing someone, then you chasing what that person did. That's all I'm gonna say. If y'all think LeBron is chasing Jordan, then of course they're gonna be compared to what Jordan did. So
I don't know about LeBron chasing Jordan.
That's what people say.
Yeah, that's what people say. That's not what LeBron said. Travis, how you doing, my friend? So you heard the rest of the video and you heard the clip. It got real intrigued. We'll let everybody go. So what do you think about that? About the idea Jordan didn't need championships. He just had to get the one. Once he had one, he was the GOAT. It was end of discussion.
No, I mean, I've heard that narrative, and obviously, you know me, I don't agree with anything like that because, you know, I go by total career evaluations. If there was a discussion right there, I think it would have been easily Kareem. By that point, he did have 6 MVPs, 14 all defensive selections, 4 block titles. You know, he led in most events, definitely most win shares. So, I mean, if you're just talking about overall resume at that point, it would have been Kareem. I think followed by, if we're just talking about impact on the court, probably would have been Larry Bird, only player ever to win 3 straight titles, averaged 25 or more points per game for a season, doing
you mean MVPs? You mean
MVPs? Yeah, MVPs. Sorry, and you know, only player ever to average 24 more points, shooting 50, 40, 90 for an entire season. In the clip now, but I mean, you could definitely throw out some names there and have an argument, but this is what Arenas does. No disrespect to him, but he doesn't really know basketball. And nor does the people that he argues with. And that's why he picks them. So he can just lob out general crap at them. They won't refute it. They don't know how. They'll just be like, oh, what do you mean? They don't have any knowledge or anything like that. They'll just say something generic that nobody ever says. I would get on there and destroy the crap out of him. But, you know, then he would default to, I played the game. That's all he would say. So, I mean, you can't argue if you know the facts. I don't think there was a consensus GOAT. And I certainly don't think Mike was the GOAT after one title. But Brandon, definitely 88 was the best. He had DPOY, the best scoring. Nobody has ever led scoring and the DPO at the same time. He led in every major advanced stat other than win shares. He had the most only player in history up to that point to have a 200 block or 100 steal season. And again, he led across the board and the highest WARP of all time that season as well. Like, you can't logistically say he didn't win obviously he didn't win the finals MVP, but it came close in 94. But as far as pure statistical dominance, Mike clears everyone in 88.
In 1988, he's dominant by winning one game in the second round. He's real dominant.
No, statistical.
Now we're going back to team accomplishment, but then someone mentions a title.
If we're talking the best season ever accolades wise, probably Hakeem in 94. But nobody clears Jordan's 88 from just a dominant standpoint on both ends.
Wait,
Bill Russell. I mean, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain. Like, what you talking about?
Also to correct you, Travis, Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain did win 3 straight MVPs as well. So it's not just Bird, but I do hear you there, John. So what do you think of that, John? Did Jordan get the GOAT title because he's Jordan, and it didn't matter if he won championships or not? Hold on, let me unmute you. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
The conversation started after the 88 season about Jordan being the best player ever. But it couldn't be loud because he had no championships. We can say championships don't matter, but you can't be considered to go in basketball if you don't have a championship. So when Jordan won that first championship in 91, yes, everyone was calling Jordan the GOAT because they was already talking about it after the 88 season. So the certain media members just couldn't be loud with it because he had no championships. Because you can argue Jordan the GOAT, but then they're going to say, well, when did he win a big game? He couldn't say it, couldn't have a conversation. He had no playoff success. So after he won it in 91, the conversation became easy. He had all the stats. He had the 88 year. So the conversation was over with. Now we know who the GOAT is. Then he went back to back. Oh, okay. Then he went 3-peat. Conversation over with. They put the statue on Madison after he retired. The GOAT, the greatest of all time, was sitting right there. You couldn't miss it. Sitting right there in front of everybody so you could see it. So 3 championships it was it.
That was it. All right. Ralph, so you know the conversation. What do you think about the Jordan and being when he became the GOAT?
I mean, John pretty much said pretty much everything I was gonna say, but as far as like the conversation, only thing I'm gonna say, like with the criteria part, there was no criteria back then. It was more freelancing of talking, you know, like when you're going back and forth, like, you know, at times that we do, that's pretty much what they were doing. It wasn't like, oh, we're measuring this and measuring that. They wasn't doing that back then. Like I said, my pops told me. And they would just they would name certain things of what they did in their career, but it wasn't like, oh, let's get this list down and let's label everything of championships, all that other stuff, and we're gonna compare. They didn't never do that. It got more intricate around like this time, like in the past 10 years maybe, or 5 years, whatever you want to say. But that's when it really got more in depth. They wasn't as in depth like how we are now.
Facts. That's true. Twin Man, what's good, brother?
What's going on, boss?
Nothing much, man. Glad to see you, man. Appreciate you for taking your time, man. So you've been here since
everybody.
Thank you. So you've been here since the beginning of the show. You see what we're talking about. It's your take, brother. Go ahead. You can speak. It's your turn.
So
what do you think of the conversation?
I was actually in that chat, listening to that entire conversation between Gilbert Arenas and Dreamers Pro. And what I appreciate about Gilbert Arenas is that he does kill a lot of narratives from the 90s. And I honestly appreciate that. To be honest, I feel like John hit the nail right on the head. It was really media driven to make Jordan the GOAT, because if they really would have started to try to compare players the way they do now. Hold on real quick. I'm trying to tell my son to turn down the TV in here. It's loud TV.
Go ahead.
But if they actually would have been comparing Michael Jordan at the time when they deemed him the GOAT, they would have had to compare him to Bill Russell. They'd have had to compare his accolades to Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and players like Kevin McHale, things of that nature. They'd have had to compare the players. He would have never been deemed the GOAT. It just wouldn't have happened. So what did they do? It had to be a media push, a media narrative that this is the greatest player, the greatest performer we've ever seen. And in my opinion, it has always been overhyped, because people literally overlook Jordan's early careers to just praise the 88 season and on. You see what I'm saying? And then when he got his first title, they were already sitting here trying to put that in the atmosphere. This is the greatest player ever that we've ever seen. There really wasn't a criteria, because Jordan would have never been able to stand up to that criteria. He just wouldn't have been able to do it at the time. He didn't have the numbers.
Well,
because if they would have
go ahead.
They still don't.
If they would have done it the way we do it now, hands down, it either been Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Period.
And you know what? That was the point Gilbert Arenas was trying to state, that at that time there was no real argument. Nobody was trying to make a case because there was no real standard. There was no criteria. There was nothing put together to say this was the greatest player. Some people had it depending on how they felt. Now, I gave you, from what my understanding of it was at the time, if we go to 1985 or 1988, when Michael Jordan gets that famous season, to the media, it is Wilt Chamberlain. But like I told you, in the start of the 80s, NBA got popular. So by the mid 80s to the late 80s, there was what you call the new media. There's this new brass of media who's enamored with Michael Jordan because they didn't witness the 70s and the 60s. So they don't have the allure of what was going on then. The players, amongst the players, which was still a players' league. That's why it wasn't never a basketball was never a national phenomenon. Jordan made it a national phenomenon. It was just the Lakers and the Celtics. That's all people cared about throughout the 80s. It wasn't until Jordan showed up till people started caring about basketball, the casual fans. So you had the casual fan become the casual media guy. Now you get the Stephen A. Smiths and the Skip Baylesses that are brought up in that era that are watching Michael Jordan. And like John said, they want to make him the GOAT in 88 because the same way we make Bo Jackson the greatest athlete of all time just off of our eye test. That's it.
Yeah, there you go. You hit right on the note because it was more so of like back then it was more so of an eye test than anything. They didn't look at the stats accolades. It's like they paid attention to a little bit of it, but it was more so.
But no, that's what I'm saying. The elder statesman did. That's why Wilt was the guy. Because when you at that time in 1988, it was really Wilt. Kareem just started making a name for himself because he just started winning more championships. But when they give Wilt the basketball to hand over to Kareem, that is truly the NBA saying the GOAT. It was always the scoring title. That was the most prestigious award or player accomplishment at the time. It wasn't until Jordan came along with the new media that created a whole new different phenomenon. And that's why he said Jordan's the GOAT. Jordan's Black Jesus. Those were Gilbert Arenas' words, his exact words. He said he's Black Jesus. He's unicorn. He said we made him into a unicorn. Nobody could ever be. How you gonna be a unicorn? How you gonna be the unicorn? It's an imaginary thing. You can't be. I can make it be whatever I want it to be. So that's what he was saying. There's no standard. So you can't say LeBron can't be second best with only 2 championships or 1 championship, which is what Dreamers Pro was trying to say, that he wouldn't even be in the GOAT conversation, that Kobe would be right afterwards. That's what he was trying to say. So that was what I really thought about the whole conversation. It was great because Gilbert Arenas was basically saying what I've always stated, that there is no criteria. Michael Jordan fans are just taking whatever they want to make the GOAT conversation fit for them, but there's no criteria. We have yet to see any one of them bring up a real criteria that can show Michael Jordan as the GOAT of basketball other than fandom. Yes, he has the most fans. He is the most adored athlete ever as far as basketball goes, if you want to go there. That's it. But other than that, he doesn't have the resume. And that's what Gilbert Arenas said. If you're going to make Michael Jordan your GOAT, stick by that, because there is no real formula to make Michael Jordan the GOAT other than that. And that's what he was basically saying. So it got nasty afterwards because Dreamers Pro left the show. And then
But Dreamers Pro don't know basketball. I'm gonna be real, Johnny. Like I said,
he's a Kobe guy. He don't know basketball.
I was there for the
it's funny y'all say that.
Conversation.
Okay, Twin Man.
Cooked.
Twin Man, let me ask you this, Twin Man, let me ask you this. Did it go as I stated it, as it went? Basically, they brought Dreamers Pro on to discuss his comment about the Kobe Bryant funeral, and then somehow, how did Gilbert Arenas get involved though? How did they mention Gilbert Arenas?
He was in the
Gilbert
chat.
Arenas got involved because Dreamers Pro was first things first, I think Dreamers Pro is a hack. He's a grifter on the internet just to hate LeBron James. I'm gonna be real. That seems like he hates LeBron James with a passion. But real talk, he does not know basketball. And he was like, I've always wanted to debate Gilbert Arenas. And FYF Lamont, for his credit, he was like, yo, I'll hit him up and see if he'll come over there right now. And he did. And he the level of cooking.
Wait a minute. So wait. So Dreamers Pro asked for a debate. He said, I would love to debate Gilbert Arenas.
He wanted to debate Gilbert Arenas.
Wow.
And Gilbert Arenas, deep fried, rotisserie, baked, steamed, pan fried, smoked, any type of cooking technique you want to use. That's what he did to Dreamers Pro the entire conversation. It was like literally, it was like an adult talking to a child. That's how bad the conversation was. Dreamers Pro entire argument was like 6 rings. Was like 6 rings.
No, he had no
non-defensive
argument.
selections.
He didn't have an argument.
He had
none.
typical Jordan talking points.
He had none.
Man,
He had none.
That man don't even know what yet.
Go ahead.
What's good with it, bro? My bad for interrupting like that.
Nah, go ahead. Though, what you was going to say?
Salute to everybody. But you know what I'm saying? Bro, that man don't even know what year Jordan was drafted. He don't even know what his top 5 is. Like, if you can go back and search through some of the videos on Gil's channel, he you know what I'm saying? He got the stuff posted on his channel where he reviewing new videos and stuff. But I was just hearing what y'all was saying. Huh?
Yeah, no, I hear you. No, I hear you. Again, I caught it at the end when Dreamers Pro was upset because the panel was saying how he got cooked. They were going in on him just like Twin Man was saying. They were going in on him. He got cooked. I didn't see it at first.
You talking about when Lowe was on there?
Yeah, and Lowe showed up.
Lowe was on the show at that time.
Lowe. And Dreamers
in Africa, of them, even Herm cooked him.
Locker room.
So the whole locker room was there. So shout out to FYF Sports Debate and the whole locker room and all the affiliates that they, shout out to Lamont, all those guys. That was actually an epic moment. Like I said, it was a shock to the GOAT debate world because here it is. The funniest thing is that Dreamers Pro is a pro Jordan page. He is one of the Jordan pages that get constantly tagged on why Jordan's the GOAT. His views, his narratives are popular amongst Michael Jordan fans. Now, here in GOAT James Kingdom, these are Michael Jordan delegates, so they don't agree with Dreamers Pro. But for Michael Jordan fans, he is one of the top-notch guys. He's like sports fluent. They love him. They think he's one of the best. They think he exposes LeBron. He brings up all the narratives that they love to talk about. So for him to get upset and say that he wasn't there to debate, because that's what
I can tell you.
Go ahead, Chris.
Out the house.
No, I can tell you why he was over there. Yeah, I can tell you how all of this started.
How did it start?
Didn't have beef.
Because Dreamers Pro got supposedly Dreamers Pro got on there. No, but Dreamers Pro said, go ahead.
Yeah. See, Dreamers Pro, him in the locker room, they been kind of having like a back and forth. So Lamont ended up, teaming up with Reggie in a way, right? So after a while, Lamont started to like review certain videos that Dreamers Pro was doing, and I guess somebody sent it to Dreamers Pro because they have certain guys that send them stuff. And Gilbert Arenas had been on Lamont channel before and stuff like that. So Lamont ended up making, Gilbert Arenas a moderator over there. And I guess somebody ended up getting in touch with Gil, and he ended up coming over there after Dreamers Pro was over there. That's how Gilbert ended up going on the panel, and having a one-on-one with him because, he claimed he wanted to debate him and all that stuff, but that didn't end up well for him. So,
okay,
I really just don't understand how that man even, try to talk basketball. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I mean, listen. He's not here to defend himself. We're not going to really talk about Dreamers Pro as in that way. We don't know him. We only know him from his takes. But if you want to listen to his takes, you can go find him as Dreamers Pro on YouTube. But I just want our fans to understand how the conversation started, how we got to the Gilbert Arenas and Dreamers Pro. Because from my understanding, he also has videos talking bad about Gilbert Arenas a lot. So I believe that was one of the things that Lamont brought up to him, or the locker room brought up about how he talks.
Because he called him an idiot.
Yeah, he called him a bozo and things. Yeah, So I believe that's how Gilbert got involved in the conversation because they were talking about the Heat culture. Because they were basically saying Gilbert Arenas' take on the Heat culture is nonsense. Because I believe that was what Dreamers Pro was talking about when he had a take on Gilbert Arenas. Was basically saying Gilbert Arenas doesn't know what he's talking about with the Heat culture or whatever. So because that's what I caught Gilbert Arenas talking about that, all that too. So to get back on the topic and get back on today's show, I want to ask though, if there was no GOAT, who do you think was the GOAT before Michael Jordan? So let's start with you, Brandon. You said there was no criteria, there was no nothing. But if there was a GOAT before Michael Jordan, who was the GOAT? As of 1990, before Jordan won his first championship.
It had to be either Kareem or Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain, and most likely would have been Kareem because of how he finished his career.
Kareem. So you say Kareem. What about you, Craig? Who you think would have been the GOAT, or who was the GOAT before Jordan?
Well, I mean, before Jordan, it could be all the name players you name, the Russell, the Kareem, the Wilt.
So who was it for you? Who was the GOAT before Jordan? You know what I'm saying? Who was after
9
Jordan?
years old in 93.
No, okay, but I'm just saying. All right, after before LeBron became number 2, who was your number 2?
Well, when I officially had a list, it was literally LeBron was in his 4th year in the league when really people started talking about best player ever or even discussing people's careers. So everybody either had Kareem at number 1 or Mike at number 1. It was flip-flop. It was Kareem and Mike.
Kareem and Mike.
But
okay.
before Mike, I would say Kareem. It would have been Kareem and Wilt.
Okay. All right. What about you, Travis? Who was the GOAT as of 1990 before Jordan won his first championship?
Oh, Kareem, no question.
Kareem. All right. What about you, John? Hold on. I'm sorry. I got to unmute you. My bad. Go ahead, John.
I think it was Wilt Chamberlain. Easy. Wilt Chamberlain was the GOAT. Wilt Chamberlain, who everybody was chasing. He was the best player. Ain't that right, Ralph? 30 for 30? It was Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Wilt Chamberlain,
30,
baby. Wilt Chamberlain, Wilt Stilt Chamberlain. But all right, Ralph, would you agree, Ralph? Who was the GOAT as of 1990?
No, I'm going to go off of my. See, I'm gonna go off my list right now that I actually got to do some tweaks, but I got to go with Kareem.
Okay, so Kareem would have been the GOAT.
And the second would be Bill Russell.
All right, Twin Man.
That's before Jordan and everything, yeah.
Yep. All right, Twin Man, who was the GOAT before Jordan?
Well, growing up for me in my household, they was always arguing Wilt or Kareem. Like Jordan wasn't even a factor. He wasn't even thought about. So for me though, it was always Kareem because he was the all-time leading scorer. And for me, he had the most unstoppable shot ever.
Okay.
So
all right. And then all right. So Chris, who was the GOAT before Jordan? Are you there, Chris? Chris is on mute. But I would say Wilt Chamberlain was the GOAT before Jordan.
I mean, I gotta.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah.
Who's
I got I would say I got a few different opinions on that.
All right, well, give us.
I mean, if you want to say winning wise, Bill Russell, obviously, but I'll say Bill.
Okay. All right. Well, I think Bill Russell, Wilt, and Kareem is going to be our top picks. Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, you want me to explain?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm here. I just thought you wanted to explain a little further. I mean, he just had a dominant career. I mean, I understand a lot of people don't really, respect his offensive game, but I mean, it is what it is. You can't really take nothing away from him. He made a lot of all NBA teams. The Finals MVP award is named after him for a reason. So I say Bill Russell.
Okay. I mean, I hear you on that. Again, he was one of the guys that were mentioned as the GOATs of that era. And coming into that, again, there's just a different NBA. We all know there's that pre-merger NBA, there's the post-merger NBA, the 90s, and then there's the after the 90s, and then there's what we call today's NBA. So, but I would say it would have been between Wilt and Kareem. I believe amongst the players, though, I believe it was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I believe at that time, anywhere Kareem walked in, any space he walked in that was a basketball space, he was the god. Kareem was a myth. He was a mythology. He was a titan. He was a different thing. He was different.
They didn't like Kareem. That's why he didn't get the respect that he rightfully deserved at the time. They didn't like him.
Yeah, the media didn't like Kareem. But the media didn't like Wilt Chamberlain neither. Wilt Chamberlain was just still a myth, though. He was still a myth.
There technically was a GOAT criteria, and that was your individual accolades that you had. the way Gilbert Arenas has exposed it was that they always talked about, and which I always talk about here, was the individual accolades that players really like accumulated over the course of their career. It really became ring talk in the 90s. That's real talk. And that's
it became, this is the thing. It became a ring talk when LeBron won his first championship ring. Because there was no GOAT before Jordan, but there was no GOAT debate until LeBron James.
That's very true.
That's when the GOAT debate started. It started when LeBron James showed up, and now people were doing the same thing that they were trying to do for Jordan in the 80s to LeBron. In 2007, after LeBron went to Cleveland and took him to the finals, people were starting to say, is this the GOAT? Is he better than Michael Jordan? And the media, who was trying to act like they were the elder statesmen, would say, well, no, we had to hold Jordan to championships. That was Stephen A. thing. If you ain't got championships, you can't be the GOAT. Then LeBron goes to Miami and wins. Then it was like, well, no, you got to be undefeated. Right. That's when it counts the most.
And that started with Stephen A. and Skip Bayless with that bull crap. You got to be undefeated.
That's what I'm saying. And they are the new media. They were not the elder statesmen of the true media of basketball. Like I tell people, they came in with the ESPN, NBC era. You see what I'm trying to say?
So the new media. Skip was already media before that.
No, but Skip wasn't a basketball guy. Skip was football. He was doing college football. Yeah, he was doing college football. He wasn't doing that. He went into the 90s and started covering Michael Jordan in the 90s.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like when you really tell the truth about this topic, people really think you're just trying to hate. No, I really do appreciate how Gilbert Arenas approaches the conversation sensibly. I think he has flip-flopped a little bit when it's come to the debate, but he still has been tried to be consistent when he's come to the media-driven narrative.
No flip-flop. Hold on, there's no flip-flop.
To give people the titles they got. I do believe that
his GOAT, Gilbert Arenas stated it on the show, his GOAT is Michael Jordan. He said it himself.
LeBron is the GOAT.
And LeBron.
No, he did say that. That's why I said
he got both of them as the GOAT.
He said Jordan is
his twin man.
That's what he said. I don't know about if he has a criteria. But go ahead, Chris. My bad.
No, you good, bro. No, I've heard him, say that before, but it's not a flip flop for him. He said he got both of them. As he say, 1 week he might have Jordan, the next week he might have LeBron. It's not a flip flop to me. You know what I'm saying? Many people have, certain guys that they get like, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, bro.
I also like how Gilbert Arenas is really pointing out the disrespect Jordan's teammates get and how they don't get the necessary credit they deserve for helping this man go 6-0 in the finals. Like they tried to demix Scotty was hurt and he didn't have teammates early on in his career. And that's when he comes at it as a player. Like that's up to you as the superstar to put the team on your back and carry the team. So I like how as a player, he's like a player analyst. And honestly, I feel like he's very fair about it. He's very fair about it. He's pointing out the glaring inconsistencies in people's arguments that people really just don't want to admit. That's why he was able to destroy Dreamers. Like he really destroyed Dreamers Pro. You want to see somebody get undressed in a debate or a conversation, watch that entire conversation. That shit was bad.
Yeah, shout out to Lamont and FYF Sports Debate. They have a great content. They have great, they do more than just the GOAT debate. They actually do all kind of debates. They're like the boxing of debaters. So, shout out to them. They have a great panel, a great group of guys. So, Brandon, what do you think of Gilbert Arenas and the things that he stir up? Because obviously he stirs up so much. But he did state that Jordan is his GOAT.
I guess I don't really have anything that's Gilbert's being Gilbert. That's what he does. He try to kill some of those narratives that Jordan fans love to say all the time, and majority of them are lies. That's what they do. They go around lying about everything. They want to remove certain players from certain things to put Jordan on top. That's just how it is.
Yeah, he does seem to go at Jordan fans, and he does seem to go at least to the Jordan fan logic. He doesn't, you know, again, like he stated, Jordan is the GOAT for him because it's a unicorn. You can't touch Jordan. Jordan, when we're talking about the GOAT, then that's what Jordan is because we bestowed it upon him. There was no need to give any criteria or standard. He's the GOAT, so no one can match that. No one would ever match that because Jordan is the superstar of all superstars. But like he said, if we're gonna really break this down, then how can you not have LeBron James right behind Jordan, or if not better than Michael Jordan? And the funny thing was, Dreamers Pro tried to say Kobe was a better scorer than LeBron James. And Gilbert Arenas asked him. Gilbert Arenas said, "Well, on what? How?" And he couldn't explain it. He brought up like clutch, even though Gilbert Arenas stated that he thinks Kobe is a better scorer than LeBron James. He still ate Dreamers Pro on that topic. And still exposed them like what you're using doesn't prove Kobe's a better scorer. Like
right.
He literally like you know what I'm saying?
Like,
yeah,
it was
so
something
so
really did.
I thought you was gonna play that.
He agreed with him and still killed him in the debate.
It was bad. He was like,
it was
I
bad.
think Kobe's the better scorer, but explain how.
It was bad.
I thought he was gonna play that clip. That part of that conversation would really been like, all right, yeah. Dreamers Pro, yeah, you got kind of like, cooked on that.
He just
how you agree with the guy and then still murder him on his own agreement.
Do you remember? That's what got me. Having a conversation. They were having a conversation about Kobe and LeBron, and he basically Dreamers Pro said Kobe's better than LeBron, hands down. 6 ways from Sunday. He asked them very simple questions. How?
No, he said at what? He said at what?
He said at what?
At what?
And then Dreamers Pro was like, basketball. And he was like, explain it. He just exposed the fact that the man does not know basketball.
Like there was another conversation with you know, I know Johnny and John knows who this is. Crunch Time TV. It was a similar conversation between Crunch and Richard Jefferson because Crunch has his own StreamYard as well. And Richard Jefferson got on his show and they were actually talking about Kobe and LeBron as well. So if you get a chance, go to Crunch Time TV and check that clip out. That was pretty cool too.
Yeah, no, shout out to Crunch Time. Crunch TV, Crunch definitely be having some wild take. He is a Kobe guy. He loves Kobe, and he does think Kobe Bryant is better than LeBron James. I gotta go check that out.
He think that Kobe's better than Jordan.
No, I know.
Johnny,
Travis would love him
on that, bro. Because
Travis would love him. I
love Kobe Bryant, but Kobe Bryant fanatics make me hate Kobe. Kobe Bryant, Travis, I know you love Kobe Bryant, but you're not a fanatic.
No, definitely
not a fanatic. You know what I mean when I say Kobe Bryant fanatics will make you hate Kobe Bryant. They will start saying the most ridiculous shit. And it's like, I had people tell me Kobe Bryant's better than Jordan. Better than Jordan and LeBron. I said, do you know head-to-head record?
Brandon will tell you best. What does Jordan do that Kobe can't?
I mean,
I even told you this. I said, besides scoring the basketball, please tell me what Kobe does better than LeBron or Jordan. And they everything. What are you talking? Give me some numbers. Give me games. Give me some head-to-head matchups. Give me some season numbers. Give me something. It's just know his name is Kobe Bryant, and he is better than Jordan, and he's heads and shoulders better than LeBron. Like,
now y'all can stop killing me when I say LeBron is the second greatest player ever. Y'all have to stop killing me now.
I mean, I don't argue with anybody who say LeBron's the second greatest. I just ask why, and most of the time y'all just bring up lies about things that happened.
My logic is
Jordan did this. Jordan did like most of the things that y'all bring up are not true. Michael Jordan has done nothing better than anybody. You can't just say Jordan did something better than somebody. Like, what is it? That Michael Jordan did better than somebody. I mean, he wasn't a better scorer than Wilt Chamberlain. Simple as that. Michael Jordan is not a better scorer than Wilt Chamberlain. In a decade, he's not a better scorer than Will Chamberlain. There's no way you could slice it up. He's not a better scorer than Will
There's
Chamberlain.
no way somebody can average 50 in a season and be second all time in points per game. That's just mind-boggling how that happens.
Who? What? Huh?
Hey.
Huh?
Say, but B Lee.
Yep.
See, B Lee, they try to go to versatility and all these other extra added things, like, you know what I'm saying? Like what you was just saying, bro. Like Will, they can't tell you how Jordan's a better scorer than Will, but they go to versatility and all of this other stuff. Like, come on, bro, that ain't got nothing to do with the basketball, man.
No.
So this
Will
is
Chamberlain.
they'll try to use like 3-level scoring and all that to put Jordan over Wilt, but Wilt played to his strength. You had to keep his tall ass out the paint or he was going to murder you. Same thing when people say, like with Shaq. People ask me, who would I rather have, Jordan or Shaq? I'm taking Shaq. And people like, you taking Shaq?
That's crazy.
You bugging.
You're bugging on that one, bro.
I'm taking Shaq.
You are bugging.
You bugging. You bugging.
I'm gonna tell you why I'm taking. I don't think now. Do I think Shaq's a better basketball player than Jordan? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would never say anything as blasphemous as that. I'm talking about, at the end of the day, the dominance when it came to the middle of the paint. I need 2 points. I can still get a fadeaway, or I can get that, just drop it down low to Shaq. He's going up and he's going to kill. Either way, I'm getting my 2 points.
Nah, you bugging.
It does not matter.
Right, with the
And he's going to put your best big man in foul trouble every game.
That
is crazy.
Weeps in the playoffs.
I don't know how that's crazy. Shaq was dominant as hell.
I'm taking Shaq. Shaq is going to kill your interior defense.
I agree with you, man.
Best big man on the bench because he's going to be in foul trouble every game. I'm taking Shaq.
Shaq will keep your whole team in foul trouble, controls the paint, score at will. What's the problem?
I'm taking Shaq. What's the difference? Jordan scored at will. Shaq scored at will. The only difference is.
Let me tell you the reason why I say I agree.
Shaq needed a Jordan to win. That's the difference.
See, this the issue. It's the versatility. It's the versatility argument, right? Jordan clearly is more versatile.
Shaq's not it.
Look, Jordan is clearly a more versatile scorer, right? But see, this is the issue. If we say Jordan and LeBron, right? They gonna say Jordan is a more versatile scorer. They gonna bring up LeBron scored all his points at the basket. It's the same thing with Shaq. And see, that's what I'm saying. You can't go wrong with either person, man.
That's no.
I understand the versatility and all of that stuff. He's a jump shooter.
Hold on. We're not gonna do that because LeBron. Hold on. Let me get my take off first. LeBron scoring at the basket and Shaq scoring at the basket. To me, LeBron was more dominant for the fact that it reflects on his winning aspect compared to Shaq. The way, but we could say LeBron won more due to his play style more than Shaq, and as the best player on those teams. So we cannot even say LeBron and Shaq. No, we're not doing that. Come on.
Okay, Ralph.
He's sitting here saying,
we're saying that if we're saying Twin Man basically saying that if you have a season and you want to win a title, who would you rather have, Shaq or Jordan? And I don't understand why it's a problem picking Shaq because he was so damn dominant. Like what's the problem?
Scoring. He was talking about scoring wise. He was saying
exactly.
We're talking about
scoring. Shaq is going to score at will.
Yeah. What are we talking about?
The only reason Shaq didn't average 40 because Kobe had to get some shots up.
Why Shaq's not averaging 40? Kobe for 6 years. Shaq's not playing like that. Shaq's not running up and down.
Shaq could have played like that.
Shaq's not going to run up and down the court. You have to slow the game down for Shaq.
It don't matter. You dump it down. It's a bucket.
Yeah, that's what you got to go. Let's imagine that. So imagine if I can stop
who gonna give the ball?
It down. That's
what I'm saying.
But if I can stop
who is going to stop you from scoring? Who's going to stop Shaq from scoring?
Not from scoring. I'm saying getting the ball to him. Obviously, once Shaq gets the ball in the paint, now I mean, there's only
free throw line gonna stop him from scoring. What you talking about?
There's only a small amount. But that's the same thing with Jordan. How many people stopping Jordan from scoring when he gets the ball in the ISO?
But that's my point. My
Shaq
point
doesn't have to be in an ISO.
In the comparison I'm making between Shaq and
Shaq's
Jordan,
not scoring.
I'm not sitting here saying Shaq is a better basketball player. I'm sitting here saying I'm probably going to get more from Shaq because he's going to put your interior defense, your best forwards, your best center in foul trouble because they have no choice but to foul him. We saw Shaq do this for a career. Why are we acting like we ain't seen Shaq?
I don't know what y'all
wait a second.
watching.
If you look at the head up against Tim, if you look at the heads up against Tim Duncan outplayed Shaq a lot of those times.
You're having to use Tim Duncan. Think about
but
it.
the thing is, you said interior, so I'm using. You said interior, so I'm using an interior player.
Are we
against
Shaq?
Like Tim Duncan? And we want to be technical.
They literally had Tim Duncan and David Robinson. Tim Duncan and David Robinson.
No. I'm talking. No,
yes,
anytime it was in a post. Yeah, exactly. 03. No, David Robinson was not that player anymore. Anytime David Robinson was guarding Shaq demolished him. But when they put Tim Duncan on him, Shaq wasn't doing what he was doing.
He was better.
But you have to use Tim Duncan literally.
Because the reason why let me explain why I use Tim Duncan. Because you said interior, so we got to use an interior player to compare that.
Hold up, Ralph. Is the league full of Tim Duncans?
But that's the thing though, because you're bringing in Shaq. Because Shaq, listen, man, the scoring thing, there's 5 guys that we're gonna say are greatest scorers of all time, and it's LeBron, it's Wilt, it's Jordan, it's Kevin Durant because of that 5-level things of that nature, and Kobe Bryant. That's really it.
I'm sorry, you gotta put Kareem in there. I'm sorry, Kareem got to be in there.
All right, you want to add Kareem? We can add Kareem because most people don't. They think it was boring. It was just like a Dirk Nowitzki, great score, but it was.
I feel what you're saying, but I understand
people
get bored.
Because they talk about the great levels. When you talk about Kareem, Kareem was averaging 30, but Kareem never had the 40, 35-point game season per game seasons. He didn't. He
ain't have to do all that.
I got you, but my thing is that all these other players we're talking about, that's why they're in there. When we're talking about the greatest scorers of all time, obviously Kareem's up there. I got you, but still, Shaq's not in that conversation. Shaq would never be in that conversation. Shaq was dominant because of his era, like we always say, because of his era. But he wasn't the greatest
dominant because he was dominant. No one said he was the greatest scorer. We're saying that he was dominant when he played.
I'm saying Tim was talking about scoring.
Right, I wasn't saying that.
But my point's still valid. Either way, a bucket's a bucket.
No, Shaq's
I was speaking on the versatility.
Shaq's a 99. You pick Shaq at 99. You can pick him as a franchise player.
Right.
Of course you can. Yes.
I'm not picking Shaq over Jordan, but I'm just saying like I don't understand. Like it's not like crazy to say that.
But so is Shaq.
None of them really can score at will. If you put a great defender on a great scheme on them, they're gonna have trouble scoring. We've all seen them have trouble scoring. So that's the point. Besides Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah,
we want to go there.
Besides Wilt.
Besides Wilt, I'm just saying Wilt Chamberlain stopped scoring himself.
Wilt athleticism is talent along with being one of the top players.
Jordan,
I mean,
people are picking
player
Jordan
in that
because
league.
Jordan has a deeper bag. You see what I'm saying? People
Jordan don't have a deeper bag, man.
I'm talking about compared to Shaq. Compared to Shaq, people are going to say he has a deeper bag than Shaq.
Yeah, he has 3 levels. So wait, what's the 3 levels? What's the 3 levels? 3 levels is what? Dunking, mid-range, and 3-pointers?
3, yeah.
So
that's what they're gonna say.
Gilbert Arenas said there's 5. Gilbert Arenas said you have to add ISO and post up.
Post up, yeah.
He said, and that's why he said he thinks Kobe's better than LeBron because he thinks, I guess, with those 5 levels, Kobe's better. Which I don't see how Kobe's not a better post up player. He's not a better 3-point shooter. He's
high post.
better
Kobe
mid-range.
was really, really good. I'm not gonna lie about that.
The only thing I would say he was better than LeBron. LeBron was better than him. Everything else becomes the offensive side of the ball. Kobe was
only better than LeBron at a few things. Like he had far superior footwork, he had a way better back to basket game. He could get a shot better. He was better off ball. But I can't put Kobe ahead of LeBron for any of the reasons. For exactly the same reason LeBron ahead of Jordan.
This off-ball nonsense. So we giving players credit for running around without a basketball?
Sure.
Right.
What we doing?
The Steph Curry.
But like when he's off ball, and then when they say off ball, it's like when he comes off. Like what we saw, like what like what we saw what Reggie Miller was doing, that off ball. That's what they're talking
Reggie.
about. It's like soon as you get the ball and he's able to score at a high rate off ball. That's what they're talking about, and that's what they were talking about with
basically playing without the ball. Yeah, all ball is just playing without the ball.
Run around without the basketball. I'm running around without the basketball.
But it's that when they get the ball, when they're off ball, is what they're really talking about.
Right, there's other players on the court that don't have the ball. It's just one guy.
This is what I feel like a great scorer is. And this is why Kareem will always be in that top 5 for scoring for me.
So why?
You knew what Kareem was going to do when he got the ball, and you still couldn't stop him. You know what Shaq's going to do when he gets the ball, and you have no answer for it. You knew what Dirk was going to do when he got the ball, and it was just you threw your hands in there, like Patrick Ewing. Ralph, you a Knicks fan just like me. When Patrick leaned back and that arm went in the air, 9 times out of 10 that shit was dropping. There was no answer for it.
When he faced David Robinson and Hakeem, that Patrick Ewing move was not working.
Yeah, you guys must say these guys shoot. They make half of their shots. I'm tired of people say 9 out of 10 times they're making it. No, nobody makes 9 out of 10 nothing unless it's free throws. More than likely, it's 4 out of 10. And if we want to be generous, it'll be 5 out of 10.
You know
that was super nostalgia. That was super nostalgia. I'm gonna bring some super nostalgia. Wilt Chamberlain was stopping Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's weak ass Sky.
There you go, yo. That's why I said I wasn't gonna get into it, but yo, Johnny said it. I agree with that because like we gotta really look at Kareem. Yes, he was dominant in them 70s and everything, but like when Kareem actually faced players that was his height and that was able to defend, it didn't look good for Kareem.
And Ralph been waiting to get that off for a long time.
You heard me in the background, right, John?
We all saw Wilt blocking Kareem.
I got a lot of stuff in the chamber. Wait. That's it. I know what he's waiting on.
John knew. I was like, I ain't gonna get on to that, but since Johnny opened up the can, that is a fact.
Jordan's fadeaway was blocked by Kobe, so that was not unstoppable. Kobe's fadeaway was stopped. That's not unstoppable. Basically, the only unstoppable players were LeBron coming to the basket, Dirk Nowitzki's fadeaway, and Wilt Chamberlain. That's it.
Yeah,
everybody in the league got stopped.
And Kevin Durant at the top of the key 3-pointers.
I was just about to say that.
Stopping that.
Kevin
Durant.
I don't think any player's best attribute to their game is unstoppable. No player.
No, but listen, those guys, if Kevin Durant's coming up dribbling and it's the top of the key, you cannot let him get that shot. You cannot get him that shot. LeBron's dribbling up the court. You can't let LeBron get to the rim.
Stop them before they go ahead and do it.
Dirk Nowitzki gets that leg up. Dirk Nowitzki gets
that leg up. You can't even challenge it.
LeBron James, the only thing you could do is foul him.
And with Wilt Chamberlain with the ball close to the rim, there's nothing you can do. That's why they had to widen the paint. They said that's it. We can't even let him get the ball nowhere near the rim.
Of course, if he's like the second, third tallest player with the athleticism he had, of course you ain't gonna stop him. It's a fact. Am I telling a lie?
No, my thing is that he'll do it against any era, anybody.
So you saying if
you're playing a bunch of Giants, I don't know.
30 for 30.
I don't know.
It would be such a surprise.
Dead. They're saying the big man.
He's as strong as Shaq.
If Wilt's definitely going right now, there's only one player in NBA history. I think if you brought into this era now, they'll give you 40, and that's Wilt.
Wilt is 7'4". He was 7'4".
No, he was 7'4". No, he wasn't. He was 7'1".
I know he was listed at 7'1", but if you go look at, he was actually
he's like 7'2".
No, he's 7'4".
Like him and Shaq.
Him and Shaq
stood toe to toe, and they were
he was taller than Shaq.
Right there.
I mean, he was taller.
Shaq 7'2", correct?
He was taller than Shaq.
No, Shaq is 7'1".
Shaq 7'1". He's taller than Shaq.
What do y'all think about what I just said, though? Do y'all think Wilt in today's NBA give you 40?
Of course not.
I think we'll give you 40.
Nobody giving nobody 40. Nobody's giving nobody 40.
I don't think he'll give him 40.
I don't know,
I think he'll average.
You know why?
We were talking about that.
He'll never get the 25 to 28 shots per game to do it. So he'll
exactly. Like
they got
the possessions were so high. We always state, like, you look in them 60s, those numbers were so inflated because of the amount of possessions they had. And like, I think Wilt would give you 25 easy, close to 30. I think he can easily get that, but
no,
40,
but I don't even think it's the
consistent basis,
possessions, Ralph. I don't even think it's the possessions. It's just the way the NBA is played.
He's a bad.
No, I'm just saying. But Brandon, what NBA player? What NBA player today is going to be able to take 28 shots? They don't even play no offenses like that. It doesn't even matter. He's not going to get 28 shots.
He's not going to get 30 offensive rebounds too.
Even if
it'll be hard for him to get 30. It'll be hard for him to get 30.
He'll get 30.
He was a ridiculous rebounder. I think if it's coming off the rim and Wilt's there, it's a putback all game. Because
we gotta understand too. Wilt was snatching. He was snatching a lot of balls out the air and actually putting it in the basketball. He would take his own teammates. He would take his own teammates.
This one I'm not having it. He averaged 30 for his career. He can average 30 whenever. I'm not having it with
Johnny, what you saying? If he went 30 for 30 in the series, it wouldn't be such a surprise because that's what his averages were, right?
We know his average is 30 and 20.
I just feel like with a
52%, John. That was crazy. That's nasty. On 52% back then.
I think Wilt Chamberlain will get 22 shots per game, which is what he got for his career, and that's 30 points per game.
I don't think he would get 22. I don't think.
I think he could. Jump shot,
let's just keep Wilt in his era.
Yes or no?
What was Jordan's era?
Let me ask that. Is he a better three-point shooter than Jordan? Yes or no?
Jordan shot 83%.
How the hell he's gonna average 30 if Jordan couldn't do it?
No, all the way. No, y'all said you said 38 Jordan was averaging 30. We said 27-year-old Jordan could average 30. We did say that.
I just
we said 03 Jordan's not averaging 30 and 87 Jordan's not averaging 40. That was the conversation.
Yeah.
But
people were like Jordan would average like 40.
Jordan?
Jordan wouldn't average. They were like Jordan.
That's an interesting conversation. I don't know.
Yeah, he's
Jordan
not
never averaged 40. He would never average 40 in NBA.
He's not averaging 40. He's not averaging 40.
No, he wouldn't
That's
have
what people were saying. They were trying to say if Jordan played in today's soft NBA, he'd average 40. No, he wouldn't. Absolutely not.
That was the conversation. And 87, that was the conversation.
I think he'd be like a 34, 9.
We're not gonna
but it's
Pick the best version of Michael Jordan. He's not giving you 40 in today's NBA. I said it.
We're not gonna rehash it. We're not gonna rehash it.
He only gonna average 40 from shooting three.
But Craig,
I just want to know.
I think Craig, there is a footage of Wilt Chamberlain betting his teammates on him hitting hook shot 3-pointers.
And he's doing that in the NBA game in today's game.
No, he couldn't do it in the NBA game. There was no 3-pointers in it. Even if he hit it, it didn't matter. It was still 2 points.
My point exactly. So how?
Jerry West hit all kind of threes that didn't count as 3-pointers. That's what I'm saying. But there's footage though of Wilt Chamberlain shooting hook shots and hitting them back to back and betting his teammates, and they're sitting there upset because they're like, "You're not gonna hit the next one." He's like, "Okay, put 500
send me that
on
footage. I want to see that.
I'm gonna see. He was on the Lakers then. He was on the Lakers then.
NBA game.
He was still athletic on the Lakers.
No, I'm just again.
It's on YouTube.
He didn't invent the fadeaway. Again, y'all, we gotta stop it. It is Wilt Chamberlain. He is Thanos. We're like the Avengers. We don't know how the hole opened up and all these creatures are coming in because Thanos, Wilt is somewhere out there stirring up trouble. That's what it is. That's who Wilt Chamberlain is. Thanos. Okay? He's a god, he's a myth, he's a titan.
Yeah, we ain't never seen someone score like Wilt like for a decade ever, and we never will. Right. Simple as that.
Yeah,
we have never seen someone score like LeBron for 2 decades, and we probably never will see that again either. So those are obviously the 2 best scorers of all time.
What I find amazing is that how people try to knock, and I find it funny. He does all the scoring at the basket. Okay, stop it. If he's giving you 80% at the rim, that's your fault as a defense. That's not the player's
2
fault.
points is 2
That's
points.
your
Agreed.
fault.
No. Wait a
The
minute.
best quality shot up, and the
Exactly.
best high percentage shot is at the basket.
Oh wait, no.
It's
But not
because-
only that.
It's because the fadeaway is worth 5 points. That's why.
No. It's not only that. The idea that you think LeBron James catches the ball 3 feet away from the rim and gets an easy basket that's not. He has to get past defenders to do it. He has to dribble, so he has to have the ball skills. That means he has to have the ball handles to get to that point. So even if you want to mention he shoots 75% for his career at the rim, and he only takes a third of his shots at the rim, so that means more of his other shots come outside of the rim. He is still dominant. You can't stop him from getting to the rim because he does it with the ball in his hands. So he goes 30 feet, he goes 90 feet, whatever, how many feet it takes, he gets from that point to the rim. You can't denounce that skill. Just because you can't get past your defender and you have to shoot over your defender for an 18-footer, that doesn't make you a better basketball player.
And then because everything you said, and then because he can get to the basket, so he gets to the basket so consistent, it breaks the defense down and gets shooters wide open 3-pointers. He does.
That's like hating on AI. You see, that's like hating on AI's ability to get to the rim. Why? Or hating on like Steve Francis' ability to get to the rim, or Baron Davis.
You know why? Because you know why they're mad. Oh wait, Twin Man. You know why they're mad, Twin Man? Because Allen Iverson didn't shoot 75% at the rim. These other guys, Jordan never shot 75% at the rim. That's
we don't know.
Well, we don't know, but for what the record shows,
we don't know. That means he didn't.
No, but the record shows he did.
Oh, now you being nasty now.
Oh wait, listen, right? For the 4 seasons, with knowing how many times Jordan did get to the rim, he wasn't at 70%. He was at 60%. So none of those guys, Kobe Bryant, none of those guys are near him. He's up there with Shaq. The only guys that are in the modern era that dribble like LeBron, that play at the perimeter and shoot at the rim that well, is Giannis and KD. Other than that, we're talking about Shaquille O'Neal, Dwight Howard, Tyson Chandler, Clinton Capella, because all these guys at the rim are incredible. They're like at
DeAndre Jordan.
So
DeAndre Jordan.
You said Jordan, like what they got recorded is at 60%.
At the rim, at the rim.
Wow, yeah. I wish we really would have got them younger years.
No. You know what? I wish we did, because
I wish we had Wilt younger years.
Because then you would have seen all those.
Wilt's crazy. I already know that.
Listen, but Rob, I wish they would, because then y'all would see how many times Jordan shot under 40% at mid range.
Right.
If we got them numbers for back in the day, Wilt would probably
look at Travis. Travis's face.
That would be true. We will see. We will have more of an accurate of what he shot from mid range.
Yeah, it would be. It would be accurate. And I do believe Jordan would, for his career, would be over 40% in mid range. I'm not going to say he was under 40%, but people would see how many times he did shoot under 40%. So it would be and still to this day, his best seasons or what y'all think his best shooting years, he was still 44%. Which is not better than like KD or Ray Allen or Dirk Nowitzki or even somebody like Steve Nash.
Yeah, they're all pure shooters.
Yeah,
I can see why they that high, because that's their game. They are shooters.
Right. But hold on, that's
Allen Houston, guys like that have outrageous numbers.
There you go. Yeah, my favorite player of all time. Yeah, big legend, baby, Allen Houston.
But this is the media-driven narrative that people are talking about when they're like, Jordan was just the best at shooting the mid-range. He wasn't. And it's like listen to the players you name. Like Steve Nash gets disrespected in these conversations. Like there were plenty of low-level, no-name players who shot excellent from the mid-range.
Because he took an MVP from Kobe. But you can't listen.
Nah, he don't.
You can't disrespect Kobe.
He don't deserve them shit.
Kobe. You can't disrespect Kobe.
So man, it's only when it's compared to LeBron though.
Yeah, no, that's the biggest nostalgia.
Like them 2 MVP years, he didn't deserve that shit.
I mean, he deserved the first one.
Hell no. Not over Shaq. Not that year. No.
You could have gave him the first one. because he turned that franchise around. You could have gave him that one. You could have gave him that one, but the second one, no.
Every MVP is deserved. I think everyone deserves it. Can someone have earned
Nah,
it?
Nash deserves both of them.
Hell no.
Could you say?
Not all of them.
Yeah, no. Could you
Not
say
all of
somebody? Could you say somebody you
Yes,
still
sir.
deserved it more? That's different. Yeah, but you can still. He still deserved it. It wasn't like he had a bad season.
Hell nah.
He was an MVP.
Well, that first, I agree
I'm
with
choosing
Nash.
violence for Steve Nash on that one.
His
They
points and
overhyped Nash.
assists
Nah, we're not
combined.
doing that.
Somebody say Nash can't
His
guard
points
me.
and assists
Yeah,
combined
he
was
was a
40
cone.
points. He's accounting for
He just
40
like
points
a
a night.
cement wall on
that
defense.
franchise around. That second one, absolutely not. I'm sorry, no.
He didn't deserve the first one, man. I don't even give him that first one. Now,
I mean, if we're gonna knock it for defense, we can knock other players for their defense then.
Listen,
If
we're not
talking
listen.
about
We are GOAT
MVP
James
I
Kingdom.
deserve.
We are GOAT James Kingdom. We don't denounce anybody's achievements. That's not what we do. So
he got him, but he didn't deserve it.
Steve Nash, no, we were breaking down Jordan bricking
Fuck
from the
Steve
mid range.
Nash.
That's
Nah.
what we were talking about. That's what we were talking about.
I'm choosing violence over Steve Nash. That's my agenda now.
Nah.
Real fast. King John, I got to bounce here in a minute, but really fast, man. Kobe over Madge or Madge over Kobe. Tell me why. Real fast so we can have that conversation.
Who? You said Magic and Kobe?
Oh, yeah, King John, is he there?
Frozen.
I think he froze.
I think he froze.
Yeah, he froze.
Said he wanted to have that conversation really fast, but
Friday night exposure. Come on Friday night, sir, and we'll have that conversation.
Let's do it.
Yes, we're gonna. As a matter of fact, I'm announcing it now. Friday night exposure. We're gonna talk about why Kobe has so much nostalgia, because Kobe's nostalgia is almost as ridiculous as Stephen Curry's and Michael Jordan's. So we're gonna have Kobe versus Magic because people are tripping. Magic is really the greatest Laker, but we'll leave that alone for now.
Be careful, be mindful.
We'll get up out of here.
Yeah.
You got any last words, Brandon? Before we get up out of here, Brandon, any last words?
No, not really. I guess between Magic and Kobe, Magic's probably the greatest Laker, of course, but I believe Kobe's the greater player anyways, but that's just me.
All right, Craig, what about you? Any last words for anybody? Anything?
No, I'll see y'all next week.
Yeah, man. Next week.
All
right, Travis, you said you're going to get up out of here. See you later, Travis. King
See ya.
King John is frozen. So, all right, Ralph, any last words for anybody before we get up out of here?
I got a Steve Nash agenda. You don't deserve those two MVPs, and I'm going to expose that. He get too much hype, bro. Nah.
Them MVPs got him a Nets
Hey,
coaching
Steve Nash
job.
was like that, bro.
Yeah, he also benefited once they
Steve
changed
Nash
the
is
rules,
really
and
cold, though.
all of a sudden he's an MVP. Nah, I'm about to expose Steve Nash.
You gotta give him some credit for changing around that franchise.
He can have second. He can have second place.
Was the MVP?
He can have second place, Brandon. But not
Second place for both.
It was so. The second one, he probably like fifth, because LeBron had a case. Kobe had a place. It was quite a few players in that.
Ralph,
in that section.
That second one,
Ralph, send me the numbers.
That first
Ralph.
one, I'm sorry, he deserved that first one.
Ralph, send me the numbers. I'll create a graph for you. You can take it to your TikTok live.
All right. You know I'm gonna get crazy hate.
Send it to me. I got you. As soon as you send it to me, I'll make it. I'm off for the next few days, so you can do that. So, Twin Man, 30 seconds. Last words, brother.
I'm just glad Gilbert Arenas exposed Dreamers Pro. I've watched a few of his videos. It's just pure, unadulterated LeBron hate. Like, he wakes up, I'm gonna go up on a platform, know something about basketball, be able to stand 10 toes down on your position. But me and Ralph are in agreement on one thing about Steve Nash, and that second one was egregious. So I can't wait for that video. But that first one,
nah, he didn't get that first. He deserved the first one and the second one. Go ahead, Chris.
Last word.
That second one should have went to Kobe. That second one should have went to Kobe or LeBron. Period.
Kobe definitely shouldn't won. He was seventh in the West.
Yeah,
he was seventh in the West.
Go ahead, Chris. Last words, Chris. 30 seconds, sir, please.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? That Steve Nash hate is real, man. It's real crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? That man a legend. I'm not saying he's a legend like that, but he's at least a Phoenix Suns legend. You know what I'm saying?
I give him that.
But shout out to y'all for having me up here, man. I really appreciate it, bro.
Nah, no
Steve
problem, man.
Nash is about to have
I
the
see you all the
slander.
time. Appreciate
Yeah,
you.
you know what I'm
I see you
saying?
all over the place. Yeah. I see you all over the place. Ralph, leave him alone, Ralph.
For sure.
We're going to get to it, Ralph. We're going to get to it.
He's a negative on defense and box plus minus. All the metrics. Nah, we not doing that. That's nasty.
All right, John, last words, brother, before we get up out of here.
I think the GOAT conversation hasn't gave us a great appreciation to what LeBron has been doing these past 3-4 years. I think the GOAT conversation has really killed what we've been able to watch LeBron do these last 3 to 4 years. And it's crazy that we not appreciate a guy who just scored 39,000 points. I don't think we really appreciate it. I mean, why is that not a big deal? Even if he stopped playing right now, why is 39,000 points not a big deal? We're not appreciating it because of the GOAT
part of his greatness.
I mean, it's the media.
It's part of his
the media go around the narrative.
I don't think it's appreciated.
I mean, it's definitely part of his legacy, and it definitely.
It should. He's saying it should be bigger. That's what John's saying. It should be more of an emphasis on what he's doing.
But let y'all tell it. The points is not the fact of determining anything. So
it's still a great accomplishment, though. It's still a great accomplishment. Like you said, beyond everything, it's still a great accomplishment.
It is.
I mean, he did something no one did before. When you're doing things you never seen before, that's when things should be elevated and more emphasized. That's the problem.
We elevated it. We emphasized it on Friday Night Exposure. And I explained and I showed plenty of times on how, hey, this is greater than you guys went to. I showed you if we combinated certain players' career totals and it still didn't equal up to 39,000. I was off on one of the graphs. It wasn't Anthony Davis that was supposed to be put there. It was supposed to be Baron Davis. So if you take Baron Davis's career total points,
you're taking all these people who couldn't stay healthy and putting them together,
and Reggie Miller. No, hold up. Baron Davis. Wait. Baron Davis played 13 seasons and over 800 games for his career, which is basically what Larry Bird played. If you put his career together and his total points with Reggie Miller, who played 18 NBA seasons and 1,300 games, you still don't come up with 39,000 points.
Baron Davis is the only person you would pick?
No, I got other ones.
There was Robert Parrish down there who played the most games ever. He had Robert Parrish.
Well, he wasn't a scorer, though. He wasn't a scorer, though.
I put Kyrie Irving and Stephen Curry together. If you put Kyrie Irving's career and Stephen Curry's career, they did come up to.
That is a good matchup. I'm not gonna lie. They both.
I put Clyde Drexler. I put Clyde Drexler and James Worthy together. They had over 30 NBA. They had over 30 NBA seasons, Ralph. They played over 1,900 games together.
But he wasn't a great scorer.
Go check it out.
I think the Kyrie and Curry. Now that's a good one because they both top tier scorers.
Paul George and Larry Bird put together don't come up to 39,000.
Paul George, he had one season to win. He
said one season.
I mean, Paul George
that was a great scorer.
Great career.
I'm saying as a great scorer, he had that one season in OKC.
I'll give you another one. I put Dwayne Wade and Kevin Love together, and they don't equal 39,000 points together.
Because they had LeBron James hogging on
I put
well, they only played
that was a good one.
Both of them only played.
Dwayne Wade's a good scorer. I wouldn't a great scorer. I wouldn't say Kevin Love was
3 years with him.
It's not about being a great scorer, Rob. It's just to show you how great 39,000 points is, Rob.
But that's scoring. So I'm going with that trend of if you, I want you to compare great scorers in that, which you do have with Steph Curry and Kyrie. They're great scorers. That is a good one. I give you that. But the other ones, they're not on that tier of scorers like them.
They got to average 20 plus for their career to be considered a good scorer.
I mean,
so now we got to start combining people.
No.
Wait. All right. So how about this?
Singular level.
All right. So how about this one? All right. So how about this one? Since you said that one, don't right. Before we get up out of here, let me bring up this one right here. So Ralph, you say, so you can't argue this one. This one you can't argue. This one you're gonna have to. This one you're gonna have to accept. This one you're gonna have to accept. Kawhi Leonard and Vince Carter's career put together don't equal up to 39,000 points. And they played 2,100 games, over 2,100 games, and over 30 NBA seasons.
Vince Carter got the most games.
The most seasons played. The most seasons played. And Kawhi Leonard, who played 11 NBA seasons, but they don't have the amount of points as GOAT James put together.
12,000.
So we're gonna leave y'all. We're gonna leave y'all. That's how great 39. That's how great 39,000 is.
Ralph.
All right.
Ralph. 12,000 points got him at top 75.
Huh?
Wow. I said 12,000 points has Kawhi Leonard top 75.
It's what he accomplished within
because the points don't matter. It's what he actually did on the court.
What he do?
Yeah, that's what got him in there.
He's still not top 75, but I understand why they put him there because they projected him to be doing more.
Just like
but he hasn't. So
just like how they did Shaq.
Yeah, they gave
just
Shaq
like how they did Shaq.
Play in his
it was
season.
Like, yeah, they did the same
Shaq
thing
didn't
with
have
Shaq.
as many games missed at the time. I mean, Kawhi.
No.
I mean, you can't even project
Shaq
Kawhi.
Shaq was a generational talent. Kawhi Leonard ain't that. So him and AD have not been on the list.
And then, like, you look at what Kawhi accomplished with the 2 deploys. You got the 2 championships, with the 2 finals
MVP.
With two different conferences. So it's like that. I see why they did that, but
the accolades trumps the stats.
No, for the media, that doesn't count for Hall of Fame. We got to see what happens for Hall of Fame. No, we'll see. Anyways,
it's LeBron James that did it.
Anyways, we want to thank everybody for joining the panel. Thanks, you guys, as usual. Thank you for joining us, man. You guys have been great.
Prove my point every week. I love this show.
So we're gonna get up out of here as we are GOAT James Kingdom, and this is the GOAT James Kingdom show with B. Lee and A. Johnny. As we proved, Michael Jordan, I guess, is the GOAT of all GOATs. No one's the GOAT besides Jordan because you don't need to have no criteria. We challenge people to show us a criteria. They've never done it. So Gilbert Arenas has proved it.
The criteria. You make up the word GOAT. That's the criteria.
I'm working on my criteria.
Jordan is the standard. Jordan is the standard. Like
Ralph, you still working on your criteria?
Oh yeah. Trust me, I'm working on it. I'm getting really. I'm doing a lot. I've been doing a lot of research lately, and I'm actually really because I feel like, you know, if I could get a good foundation of a criteria, then I can rank them properly.
All right, well, we're waiting for it. We can't wait for anybody to bring their criteria up. We are more than all ears and all support for you.
I'm almost there, though.
We'll make a graph and everything for you. Someone said there you should have one with Jordan and another player. Well, technically, if you take Jordan's career playoff points and regular season points, that still don't equal up to 39,000 points. And Jordan is second all time in playoff points, and he's fourth in all-time playoff points.
You should take. You could do Bill Walton and Jordan.
Bill Walton. That one we did already as well. Either way, though, you guys listen. To catch that kind of material Brandon and I drop, you can catch us right here on YouTube, but you can also catch us on Facebook, which we go live on Facebook as well. But you can catch us on Instagram and on TikTok and Twitter. This is the GOAT James Kingdom platform. I'm A. Johnny. That's Brandon. We are out of here. Y'all boys, enjoy y'all Sunday. See y'all next Sunday and see y'all on Friday Night Exposure. So y'all boys be good.
All right.
Peace, y'all.
Shout out to y'all.